All right, today we're jumping into a story that, according to our source material, pulls back the curtain on a much darker side of Hollywood. It all kicks off with a leaked audio recording, a pretty famous actress, and what sounds like an alleged plot to absolutely destroy someone's reputation. And that question, really, is what this is all about. Is getting to the top just about talent and hard work? Or is there something else, something much nastier going on behind the scenes? The tape at the center of this whole thing suggests the answer is, well, it's complicated. And yeah, often pretty brutal.
And here it is. This is the quote at the very center of this whole thing. It's from that alleged recording, and it's not just an insult, it's a career-ending accusation, one that sounds like it was designed to be completely and utterly devastating.
So what is this tape? I mean, who's on it, and what's really going on? Let's break down the details of the alleged plot this recording seems to lay bare. So the recording allegedly features two public relations professionals talking strategy for their client, the actress Rebel Wilson. Their target, a woman named Amanda Ghost, who was a producer on Wilson's movie. And the plan that's being discussed? To paint her as a modern-day Heidi Fleiss, basically a high-class madam. And here's what's really crucial, according to the source. There's a moment in the audio where one of them apparently says the accusation needs to be really, really heavy. This suggests it wasn't about whether it was true. It was about manufacturing a story that would cause the most damage possible.
Okay, so why would this even happen? This tape didn't just fall out of the sky. It's all rooted in a professional dispute. See, Rebel Wilson had accused the producers Amanda Ghost and Gregor Cameron of financial misconduct, and it all ended up in court. Our source presents this PR campaign as a weapon in that ongoing fight, supposedly kicked off by frustration that her movie didn't get into a big film festival.
And that brings us to the bigger picture here. According to the source, this tape isn't just about one argument. It's a window into a hidden but incredibly powerful Hollywood tactic, the professional smear campaign. At the very center of these operations, you have what are called crisis PR firms. These folks do more than just plan red carpet outfits. They manage reputations. And as the story suggests, sometimes managing your client's reputation means going on offense and destroying someone else's. So according to our source, there's a playbook for this. First, you pick your target. Then you cook up a devastating story, leak it to the right people in the media, and then just sit back and let social pressure do the rest. The goal isn't just to win a lawsuit. It's to make that person a total outcast, to turn their name into, as the source says, dirt in that town. And you've got to understand, this isn't just a tool for feuding actors. The source material claims the big studios, we're talking the major players, use these exact same firms to protect their massive investments. You know, when a billion-dollar franchise is on the line, they'll allegedly use these tactics to save a star's career or to silence a critic. Now, this is where the source's argument really expands. It suggests that these PR tactics weren't just for business fights. They allegedly became a primary weapon in the culture wars that have been reshaping Hollywood. And here's the big claim. The source alleges the #MeToo movement itself was fueled by these same kinds of coordinated smear campaigns. The viewpoint here is that the movement was co-opted and basically weaponized as a power play inside the industry, using the very same PR machine. This direct quote from the source really shows a deeply cynical view. It paints the movement not as some genuine call for justice, but as a tool for people to grab power, all done through slick PR manipulation. Now, obviously, that's a really controversial take, reframing a major cultural moment as just another battle in Hollywood's internal wars. As examples, the source points to people like director Joss Whedon and executive Roy Price. The argument being made is that, regardless of the truth of any of the claims, the PR strategy was just so effective that their careers were destroyed in the court of public opinion long before any other process had a chance to play out. But the argument doesn't stop there. It goes even further, linking these PR battles to what it calls a feminist agenda, taking over huge franchises like Star Wars. This viewpoint sees it all as one big cultural shift, driven not by genuine change, but by these same manufactured narratives. So, if these tactics can ruin careers and maybe even shape cultural movements, what does that do to our sense of what's actually real? The source's final point tackles this head-on, the mass manufacturing of public opinion. And the claim here is frankly pretty blunt. A lot of what you see online is just fake. From the audience scores on movie websites to even some of the fancy-sounding industry awards, the source alleges it can all be, and often is, completely manipulated. Think about it like this. On one side, you have what real people, actual fans, genuinely think about a movie or a show. But on the other, you've got these paid PR campaigns. This is where you get things like review bombing, where firms allegedly pay for an army of fake reviews to create a totally artificial sense that a movie is a huge hit or a total disaster. So what's the end result of all this? Well, you get an environment of complete distrust. I mean, if careers can be destroyed with a lie, reviews can be bought and paid for, and social movements can be manipulated by PR firms, the line between what's real and what's just a campaign gets, well, completely erased. And really, that's the bottom line from our source material. It presents Hollywood not as a magical place for storytelling, but as a battlefield for narratives, a place where reputations, careers, and even cultural trends are all just prizes to be won in a war that's waged by these unseen PR firms. Which kind of leaves us with this one big, lingering question. In an industry that is literally built on creating stories, how are we ever supposed to know for sure what's real and what's just part of the script?